Hey Octane Athletics listeners and now viewers. That's right, we started a YouTube channel. Why? To bring you product reviews, race reports, interviews, Mike and Dave swimming with sharks. I don't know if that last part's going to happen, but if it does, we're going to film it and put it on YouTube. I am Randy and I am so happy to welcome you to the first ever Octane Athletics YouTube channel podcast. We're going to work on the title. But today we are lucky enough to be reviewing the Recovery Pump. The Recovery Pump is a pneumatic compression device or a sequential compression device. You may have seen these devices at cryotherapy lounges, physical therapists, chiropractors, hospitals. Why? Because they're actually a medical device. These devices have been utilized for decades to treat disorders such as edema and lymphedema. Most recently, they've been used in sports to speed recovery and prevent injury. How do they do that? I'm glad you asked. When we exercise, we create all sorts of nasty stuff in our muscles, like carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and urea. Yuck, urea's in pee. So what do we want to do? We want to get that out of the muscle as quickly as possible. Well, our venous system doesn't really work by the heart pumping. So what we need to do is we actually need to exercise, walk around to pump all that garbage out. That's why we have recovery workouts, light zone 1 type workouts to flush the system of all those toxins. Well, the great thing about the Recovery Pump and other devices like it is that it can do that while you're sitting on the couch watching TV or a movie or working or watching TV. So why don't we get to it? Why don't we take a look at the Recovery Pump? The guys at Recovery Pump were nice enough to loan us the RPX. It's their flagship product in the Recovery Pump line. It retails for $19.95. That's $1,995. They're not inexpensive devices, but they do work and they work well. So why don't you enjoy the upcoming review of the Recovery Pump. So this is the bag that everything comes in. It's a very nice, sturdy duffel bag that you could just throw into the back of your car, truck, SUV, back of your bike, whatever mode of transportation you so choose. It's got 2 zippers, shoulder strap, got a zipper in the front, the Recovery Pump logo right here on the front of the bag. So let's open it up. Now I've had this for about a week, so obviously it's not packed in here exactly how it was when I received it, but it's pretty close. So the first thing I will do is pull out the actual Recovery Pump itself. So it's a very small portable unit. I can pick it up with one finger, give you some scale. That's how big it is compared to my shoe. I wear an 11.5. So we have the regular manuals, warranty information, all that good stuff. AV cord, well, power cord, excuse me. These are actually the boots themselves. They come in a big plastic Ziploc type bag, and they have integrated hoses. The great thing about integrated hoses is you don't have to worry about having 8 hoses to connect to each chamber. You just have one connection, you plug it in, and you're off to the races. And I'll show you a close-up of everything, but it comes in a big bag, pretty big. This is the recovery core. The best way I can describe this is it looks like a space lederhosen suit. So I will be wearing this later for y'all to laugh at, and but it's very effective. I've used it. It feels great, but it does look a little funny. But that's the price you pay for faster recovery. And then there is another hose extension for the core garment. So you plug the hose from the core into these hoses, and then these hoses into the unit itself. So this again is the RPX unit. There are 2 different units, the RPX and the RP. The RPX is more configurable, customizable. The RP is more of a entry-level unit. So we will be looking at the RPX today. So this is the actual pump itself, and I apologize for the audio quality of this, but I'm actually having to film this part on my iPad. So what you have is you have the two ports. That's where we plug in the, I would call them quick disconnects. We have a mode button and a select button and a start and stop. On the back, you will see the battery compartment down here, the power switch, and that is where the cord plugs in at. But since this has an internal battery, we don't need to actually have the battery on. Let me see if I can get this so you can see it. Okay, so what we have here is we have the pressure, which is in millimeters of mercury. The time, which is set at 45 minutes, and the program. The great thing about this specific unit is that it can have custom programs that you put in there on your own. So if we push the mode, it's going to tell us program 1, which is the preset recovery mode, and that program cannot be deleted from the unit itself. But you can adjust it. So if we hit it twice, it's going to be sequential, which means it's going to be going from your foot up your calf, up your thigh, knee area, and things like that. So it fills at your foot, fills at your calf, and it continues to fill, and then it releases all at one time. So if we hit it 3 times, we can actually adjust the pressure. I find myself that after exercise, I like about 55 to 60. 70 is a little strong for me, and this thing goes all the way up to 100. So you select your treatment pressure, then you select your treatment time. I think you can go all the way up to 90 minutes. We're going to find out. So we are at 60, 70. All right, so anyway, we can go, yeah, let's just find out. Might take a few seconds. Yep, okay, so maxes out at 90. Pause time. Now, the pause time is the time between it releasing and the time it starts filling up again. So it's preset at 15. If you want it to be a little bit more aggressive, you can obviously reduce that time. So the hold time is the amount of time that it holds the boot full of pressure in all compartments until it releases. So if you really want to get a little bit more aggressive, you can go all the way up to a 10-second hold time. So the great thing about this unit compared to some competitors' units is the actually fill and empty cycle is a lot quicker than some competitors, which I find kind of like that a little bit better. All right, so if we go back to programs, we can go down to program 2, and I actually tried this program out today. It's pre-train. I left it as is, although I only did it for 15 minutes. And I will tell you that I had a pretty good run. The third program is the rehab program. Pressure is 35, so it's a little bit light on the pressure. And this is what's called ISO mode, which ISO mode means is it's only going to fill 2 chambers and hold those chambers and empty those chambers and then refill them. So it's really targeted at a specific area. If maybe you are having some foot issues, you can program it to where you are only holding it in cells 1 and 2. Or you can move it to cells 2 and 3, 3 and 4. So it will fill 2 cells, hold it, empty, repeat. Okay. We'll go back to program. Program 4 is custom. So you can choose, do you want sequential? Do you want ISO? You can choose the treatment pressure, treatment time. So once you get into this and you've used it for a while, and if there's something that you really like, you can just program it in. And so you can have 3 programs, 3 custom programs that you do how you want. So anyway, that is the recovery pump. Start and stop right here. And this is where you plug the connectors into. Alright, let's take a look at the connectors and the boots a little bit more closely. So here is the recovery boot in all its glory, laid out in front of you. Like I said before, it has the integrated hoses, so you don't have to plug anything in. You literally just slip your leg into the recovery boot. Make sure your heel is nice and firmly planted in the heel of the unit, and just plug it in. So we'll get a closer look at the actual plug. So this is the plug. It goes in one direction only, so the recovery pump logo will always be facing up. So to plug it in, you simply push it in there. You'll hear a click, just like that, and you're ready to go. Now, if you're only using one side, always remember that you have to put the plug in the other side. But if you are using both sides, obviously you just plug the other boot into that, which I will do right now. All right, we're going to go ahead and start a cycle so you can kind of hear how loud it is. It's very quiet. I've used this sitting in bed next to my wife, and she hasn't complained, so that's a pretty good thing. So to start the unit, first let's go back to the programs, and we'll go up to program number 1, which is recovery, and we will go ahead and start it. So you can hear the unit is actually running. It's very quiet. I would say it sounds about like a humidifier, if you've ever had a humidifier. So right now, no one's in the boots, but the bottom of the boot where your foot goes is actually starting to inflate. There's 4 chambers, so you can see the foot is inflating right now. The second chamber is going to be filling. We've got these kind of crisscrossed here, and it takes a little while to fill it on the first cycle, simply because the boots are completely empty, so it takes a little while. So with that, let's take a look at the recovery core. So this is the recovery core. As you can see, it is a very imposing garment. What you will see here is you have a series of 3 zippers. These zippers size the unit from small up to large, so there's 3 different sizes. You want it to be tight but not uncomfortable. Up here you see you have the quick connect. Obviously you can't connect it here, that's what those other cords are for, so you connect the cords into there and then the cords into the unit itself. There's a zipper that you use, and then there are this shoulder apparatus that you plug in and you wear it over your shoulders. So that's the recovery core. It is it's an experience. It's very good for your lower back, very good for your abs, upper thighs. So let me throw it on so you can see what it looks like. My dog, he's wondering what's going on. TV in the background. And as promised, the recovery core garments. As you can see, it's very fashionable. You can wear it out after you receive therapy. It's a conversation starter. Plenty of room for shirts and keys and wallet. So there you go. Can't put a price on recovery, right? So what are my final thoughts on the RPX system? I love it. I want to get one of these. I'm a true believer in sequential compression therapy now. The science is out there. Actually, there are some studies that are posted up on recoverypump.com. You can read about them. A lot of them aren't new, so some of this has been around since 1993. So these units are not inexpensive. The RP, which is the entry-level unit, is $1,200. The RPX is almost $2,000. But the people at Recovery Pump were nice enough to offer up a 10% discount if you type in Octane at checkout. So this discount is going on for the month of July right now. So definitely go to recoverypump.com and take advantage of that. Also, Recovery Pump has a payment plan. You pay 35% down and you pay the remainder over 5 months. Also, if you have access to PayPal credits, anything over $100, you get interest-free, no payments, no interest for 6 months. So that is definitely something that can make this more accessible. Also, if you really think about the value of this product, I used to get massages. They were about 75 bucks a piece once you take into consideration tip and driving and things like that. That's actually kind of low. It's pretty affordable for a massage. But if you do the math on that, if you get 16 massages a year, that's $1,200. That would pay for an RP system. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say people will get 16 massages a year. Also, if you go to any of the cryotherapy lounges, people will charge anywhere from $1 a minute to maybe $20 for a 30-minute session. If you were paying $20 for a 30-minute session, if you got 60 sessions, that would pay for a unit, a $1,200 RP unit. Or they have sometimes an all-you-can-use plan for like $120 a month. So if you were paying that for 10 months, you would pay for a unit itself. So I really do think there's a lot of value there. If you take into consideration that you can use this thing multiple times a day, before, after exercise. If you have more than one athlete in the home, it makes it even more affordable. So this is definitely something you should take a look at. At the very least, if you've never tried this therapy, I suggest you go, if you see these units at a race, try them out at a race, go to a cryotherapy lounge or a recovery lounge and pay 20 or 30 bucks. I don't know if you'll be using the Recovery Pump system or if you'd be using a competitor's system, but you will at least get to kind of try to understand what this is all about. I really saw the benefits after using this thing for about a week. So, but I did feel better even after one session. So that's really going to wrap it up for the RPX Recovery Pump review. You can find us at octane-athletics.com. If you do any Amazon shopping, please do it through our link. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it gives us a little bit of money so that we can continue bringing you this content and the podcast. You can find me at on the Twitter at Randy Messman. Dave is at Big Dave, the number 4. Mike is at Tridaily Coach. We are also on Facebook as Octane Athletics, and you can find us on Twitter at Octane Athletics USA. So we really appreciate you guys watching this. We're excited to bring you guys these videos. So please subscribe to the videos. Give us a thumbs up if you can, and go to iTunes for the podcast and give us a review. Thanks.